He saved 3 championship points in the longest French Open final in history. 2 weeks later, he's reached the Queen's Club final with his 250th career win, the third fastest in Open-era history. At just 22, Carlos Alcaraz isn't just dominating tennis, he's rewriting what's possible. With a tour-leading 42 wins and 4 titles in 2025, including that epic Roland Garros comeback against Sinner, the question isn't whether he can win Wimbledon, it's whether anyone can stop this unstoppable force.
What we're witnessing is the psychological evolution of a champion in real time. That French Open final wasn't just about tennis, it was about proving to himself and the world that no deficit is insurmountable when you have his mindset. Coming back from 2 sets down against the world number 1, saving 3 match points, then transitioning seamlessly to grass and extending his win streak to 17 matches. That's not just talent, that's championship-level mental architecture.
The numbers tell an incredible story. Since 2023, Alcaraz is 22-1 on grass with back-to-back Wimbledon titles. But more importantly, he's proven he can handle the mental pressure of transitioning between surfaces while maintaining peak performance. Going from a 5-hour, 29-minute clay court epic to dominating on grass 2 weeks later shows a level of adaptability that defines true greatness.
Today we're analyzing how Alcaraz has created the perfect storm heading into Wimbledon. Mental invincibility from his French Open miracle, physical confidence from his grass court success, and the kind of momentum that could carry him to tennis immortality. This is the story of how champions are born in pressure moments and forged through adversity. Let's start with that French Open final. Dr. Chen, help us understand the psychological impact of that comeback on everything Alcaraz has done since.
That Roland Garros final was a masterclass in psychological resilience. Down 2 sets to love against the world number 1, facing 3 championship points, most players would mentally surrender. But Alcaraz did something extraordinary. He held from 0 to 40, broke Sinner when he was serving for the title, then dominated the deciding tiebreak 10-2. That sequence didn't just win him the match, it rewired his brain to believe that no situation is hopeless.
What's remarkable is how that mental breakthrough immediately translated to different conditions. 9 days later in London, when John Munnar led him 4-2 in the deciding set at Queen's, old Alcaraz might have panicked. New Alcaraz, he calmly won the next 3 games because he'd already proven to himself that impossible comebacks are just Tuesday afternoon for champions. That's the confidence you carry when you've stared down elimination and smiled.
Statistical achievement is equally impressive. His 250th win came faster than anyone, except McEnroe and Connors. What does reaching that milestone so young, while maintaining this level of play, tell us about his trajectory?
Reaching 250 wins in just 311 matches puts him in legendary company, but the context makes it even more impressive. He's done this while winning 5 Grand Slams, including being perfect 5-0 in major finals. Most players accumulate wins through longevity, Alcaraz is accumulating them through excellence. When you win matches the way he does, each victory builds exponential confidence rather than just adding to a tally.
His surface transition has been seamless. Coach Martinez, how significant is it that he went from a 5.5-hour clay court battle to dominating on grass within 2 weeks?
This is where Alcaraz separates himself from every other player on tour. Most players need weeks to adjust between clay and grass. The ball bounces differently, the movement is different, the entire tactical approach changes. But Alcaraz's adaptability is supernatural. He's now 22-1 on grass since 2023, winning back-to-back Wimbledons, and his return game on grass is statistically the best ever recorded. He doesn't just transition between surfaces, he conquers them.
The physical recovery alone is remarkable. That French Open final wasn't just long, it was emotionally and physically draining. Most players would need significant rest and recovery time. Instead, Alcaraz took a brief vacation in Ibiza, then showed up at Queen's looking fresher and more motivated than ever. That's not normal human recovery, that's elite athlete DNA combined with championship-level mental processing.
His current form is unprecedented. A tour-leading 42 wins, 4 titles including 3 big titles on clay alone, and a 17-match winning streak. How do you even prepare to face someone in this kind of zone?
You don't prepare to face Alcaraz right now, you prepare to survive him. When a player is in this kind of flow state, where physical ability, mental clarity, and tactical execution align perfectly, the margin for error against him shrinks to almost nothing. He's not just playing tennis, he's creating art at 100 miles per hour. The question for Wimbledon isn't whether he's the favorite, it's whether the tournament will be competitive or a coronation.
Looking at his Wimbledon prospects specifically, he's the 2-time defending champion, seeking to become the first player since Djokovic to win 3 straight. What makes this Wimbledon run potentially special?
This could be the Wimbledon where Alcaraz transitions from great player to tennis legend. He's already proven he can win on grass, but now he has the mental armor of that French Open comeback and the confidence of being virtually unbeatable on the surface. When you combine that with his natural grass court ability, he wins 32.56% of first serve return points. The best on record, you get a player who isn't just favored, he's inevitable.
What's terrifying for his opponents is that he's still improving. His serve at Queens was noticeably better, hitting 15 aces in the semifinal and addressing technical issues from his previous matches. When someone of his talent level is actively getting better while already dominating, that's when dynasties begin. He's not just maintaining his level, he's raising it in real time.
His mental evolution has been as impressive as his tennis. How has that French Open experience changed his approach to pressure situations?
The French Open final was his graduation from talented player to unstoppable force. Before that match, he was 4-0 in Grand Slam finals but had never faced true adversity at that level. Saving 3 championship points and completing the comeback proved to him that his ceiling is limitless. Now every pressure situation is just practice for that level of intensity. That's why he can casually win 17 straight matches across different surfaces. Pressure no longer exists for him.
Let's talk about the competition at Wimbledon. With Sinner, Djokovic, and others lurking, is this dominance sustainable?
The beautiful thing about Alcaraz right now is that he's not avoiding tough opponents. He's making them irrelevant. He's beaten Sinner 5 straight times, including that epic final. He's owned Djokovic on grass the past 2 years. When you're playing at this level, you don't worry about who's across the net because you trust that your best beats anyone's best. That's championship psychology at its purest.
What makes his dominance sustainable is how complete his game has become. He can overpower you like Nadal, finesse you like Federer, and outlast you mentally like Djokovic. But more importantly, he's shown he can elevate in the biggest moments. That French Open comeback didn't just win him a title, it proved he has that rare ability to transcend his normal level when everything is on the line. That's what separates legends from great players.
His trajectory seems to mirror the greatest champions in tennis history. At 22, with 5 Grand Slams and this level of dominance, where does this rank historically?
He's achieved something that only Bjorn Borg and Rafael Nadal accomplished, winning 5 Grand Slams by age 22. But what's unprecedented is the variety of his success. Borg dominated on clay and grass. Nadal was primarily clay early on. Alcaraz has won on every surface in every condition against every style of player. If he continues this trajectory, we're not just watching a great player, we're watching the evolution of tennis itself.
Looking ahead to Wimbledon and beyond, what does this moment represent in tennis history?
We're witnessing the passing of the torch in real time. The Big Three dominated for 20 years, but Alcaraz represents something different, a player who combines the best elements of each era while adding his own unique artistry. That French Open comeback wasn't just a match, it was a statement. The future of tennis has arrived, and it's beautiful, powerful, and mentally unbreakable.
What excites me most is that he's just getting started. At 22, most players are still figuring out their identity. Alcaraz has already mastered every aspect of the game and shown he can perform miracles under pressure. If this is his foundation, imagine what he'll accomplish at his peak. We might be watching the beginning of the greatest tennis career in history.
His celebration after that Queen's semifinal win was telling, pure joy mixed with fierce determination. How important is that emotional balance for sustained excellence?
That combination of joy and intensity is what makes champions different from everyone else. He genuinely loves playing tennis, which gives him unlimited energy and creativity. But he also has that killer instinct that refuses to accept defeat. When you can access both emotions simultaneously, the childlike wonder and the warrior mentality, you become virtually unstoppable. That's why he can play 5.5-hour finals and still look fresh 2 weeks later.
As Wimbledon approaches, what should we expect from this version of Carlos Alcaraz?
Expect magic. Expect someone playing with the confidence of knowing he can overcome any obstacle. Expect a player who has solved the mental puzzle of elite tennis and is now just expressing his artistry. Most importantly, expect someone who isn't just trying to win Wimbledon, he's trying to create something that will be remembered forever. That's the difference between great players and legends.
We're about to see what happens when supreme talent meets unshakable confidence meets perfect timing. That French Open comeback didn't just win him a title, it completed his psychological evolution from gifted player to inevitable champion. At Wimbledon, we won't just be watching tennis, we'll be watching history unfold in real time.
What legacy is Alcaraz building with performances like these?
He's proving that tennis can be both art and warfare, beauty and brutality. That French Open final showed he can dig deeper than anyone thought possible. His grass court dominance shows he can adapt and excel anywhere. His 250th win milestone shows he can sustain excellence. Put it all together, and you have someone redefining what's possible in tennis. He's not just winning, he's inspiring a generation to believe that limits are just suggestions.
Dr. Chen, Coach Martinez, thank you for helping us understand what we're witnessing with Carlos Alcaraz. From saving 3 championship points in Paris to reaching his 250th win at Queen's Club, from clay court miracles to grass court mastery, we're watching someone who has transcended normal tennis and entered the realm of the legendary. That French Open final wasn't just the longest in Roland Garros history. It was the moment Alcaraz proved that no deficit is too large, no pressure too great, no opponent too daunting. 2 weeks later on grass, he's carrying that invincibility like armor, extending win streaks and collecting milestones as if they're inevitable. At 22, with 42 wins already in 2025, 5 Grand Slam titles, and the kind of momentum that turns tournaments into coronations. Carlos Alcaraz isn't just approaching Wimbledon as the favorite, he's approaching it as destiny. Sometimes greatness announces itself quietly, other times it saves 3 championship points and then conquers the world. As the grass courts of Wimbledon await, one thing is certain. We're not just watching a tennis player, we're watching the birth of a legend. And legends don't just win tournaments, they create moments that last forever.